So, as we just saw with worksheet 32, functions are a lot more than just looking at numbers and identifying. We got to understand what's going on in the problem sometimes for us to be able to answer questions about that problem. Again, everything we're doing this week is going to be directly related to the test. So again, I would make sure that you get familiar with something that looks like this as we talk through this. So, the graph here represents a sprinter's workout. Now, I know it doesn't really make sense that it only covers 30 seconds worth of a workout, but this is just one instance of this person running that we're looking at, okay? So we're going to use this graph, and we've got 5 questions that we're going to answer. We're going to be able to answer all these questions just by looking at this graph and analyzing what's going on, okay? So the first thing we want to do is take a look at what the graph is measuring. Our x-axis is a measure of time in seconds. And what is our y-axis a measurement of? Azalea? Distance in miles. Or no, I'm sorry, in meters, right? Distance in meters. MI would be miles. M is just meters. So this is a distance versus time graph. Is this graph linear? No, definitely not. It's not a straight line. There's 3 straight lines in this line, but they're all, it's not a straight line through and through, right? So not linear, but that's okay. It's still a function, right? So number 1 says, let's just get an idea here. How many meters from the starting line did the runner begin their workout? Think about it for a second, and I want you to take a look at your graph and think about where this runner might be starting, right? Just think about it for a second.
Distance from the distance from the starting line?
Great question. It is.
Okay. So yeah. 3 meters.
So where might this runner be starting? Where do we look? I don't want the specific number, just hold on a sec. Where do we look on this graph to figure out where this runner started? Noah?
You gotta look at the labels.
We gotta look at the labels. What do you mean by that? Tell me more.
No, you gotta look at the y-axis and the x-axis to figure out what you're graphing.
Okay, so I'm looking at both axes here. I see we've got distance from 0 to 8 and time from 0 to 30. So where on this graph am I looking if I want to find where they start? Am I looking on the right of the graph, top of the graph, bottom, left? The left, right? We always start on the left and work towards the right. So if we're looking for where the runner began their workout, we've got to look to the left of our graph. The left of our graph, okay? Where is the first point on the left side of this graph, Azalea? It's right there at 3 on the y-axis. So that tells us that this runner began their workout 3 meters from the starting line. So for those of you who have ever ran before, well, you guys all run during PE, right? Do you guys ever run on the track?
Yeah.
You do, right? So a 100-meter dash is like that one straightaway section, right? That's 100 meters right there is one straightaway. A full lap around the track is 400 meters altogether. So if you think about it, let me just draw you a little picture here. So here's the track, right? Here's our track. This little section here, you may notice if you're on not a dirt track, if you're on an actual track like at Monterey Trail or something, you'll notice that there's a start line and an end line on both of these little straightaway sections here. And you'll see that there's 8 lanes going all through. So you have 8 runners line up right here, and then they run to the other end, and that's the 100-meter dash, right? For those of you who don't know. So what this runner is doing is here's the starting line. Here's the starting line right here. Question over there, buddy? No? Okay. So if the starting line is right here, this runner is starting 3 meters away from the starting line. It's okay, he's just practicing, it's just a workout, so, but that's what it means when I say that he's 3 meters from the starting line, okay? So there's number 1. We were able to determine where he began his workout, or where they began their workout. Just by looking at the left side of the graph and finding that first point, right? This 3 tells us that he's 3 meters from the starting point. Or from the starting line. Let's take a look down at number 2 now. Number 2, how much distance did the runner cover within the first 5 seconds of sprinting? So again, let's take a look at our graph and just try and figure out how you may be able to figure this out on your own before we talk about it. Just take a couple seconds, look at the graph, see if you can figure this one out all on your own.
I got it. I know it.
Got it.
Okay, anyone want to share how they came up with what they came up with? Go for it, Azalea.
Okay, so on the time for seconds, you see the 5 on the x-axis, and you go up to where the runner, where it's like, you go up to that point, and then you go left, and that's it.
Okay, so the runner was able to cover 7 meters in 5 seconds. That's what you're saying? That's a great analysis, and that's exactly what we've talked about before. The problem with that is he doesn't cover 7 meters in 5 seconds, right? He ends up 7 meters from the starting line. But how many meters away did he start?
3.
3, right?
Yes.
So he went up from 3 to 7, which is a total distance of only 4 meters within that 5 seconds. Now, if he started here at the starting line and ended at 7, yes, then it would be 7 meters covered. But we're talking about the distance covered. You see what I'm saying? We got to go from the starting point, and that's a rise of just 4 and a run of 1. Or sorry, yeah, doesn't matter about the run, but does that make a little sense? Okay, cool. It's great that we bring that up, though, because that's what a lot of you probably would have done, right? Just gone to 5, looked up, and looked over. But our starting point matters. What about number 3? How long did the runner stop to have a drink of water? How am I supposed to know anything about when this runner is drinking water? Okay, take a second. Again, I know you guys may know. Take a second, look at the graph. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to think. How would we know when they've stopped to have a drink of water? Think about it for a second. I don't want us to go too fast.
I know it. Oh, sorry.
Any ideas?
Where's on a speed target?
Any ideas here on how long, or how are we going to figure out when the runner stopped to have a drink of water? I don't see any axis with amount of water drank labeled. Noah, what do you think?
When the distance on the graph stops going like farther.
Oh, when the distance on the graph stops going farther. So let's take a look. If we were to stop up here at, say, 7, right here,
Yeah.
our distance remains at 7 for this entire section right here, right? Our distance doesn't change at all in that amount of time. That's what this flat line here represents. Time continued on, right? But our distance remained at 7 from this point to this point to this point. All of those have a distance of 7. How much time is in that flat line period right there? How much time makes up this green section I just circled? 10 seconds, right? We're going from 5 seconds over to 15. So in that 10-second period, he didn't move at all. His distance stayed exactly the same. This horizontal line tells us that's where he stopped moving. Okay, so how long did he stop? 10 seconds worth of water drinking there for the runner.
Orange.
Now, let's take a look at number 4. How many meters, again, from the starting line, not from where he started, but from the starting line for the race, how many meters from the starting line did the runner end their workout? So take a look, figure out where we might look for the end of his workout, and we'll talk about it in just a second. But I want to give you time to think on your own beforehand.
I figured it out.
Good. What do you guys think? How many meters from the starting line did they end their workout? Any ideas?
I have
15.
15? Give me 1 second. Let me write this. Hold on. End meeting. Sorry, there's no tutoring today. I'll be tutoring on Wednesday though, in preparation for our tests. If you need any test help, we'll get our study guide tomorrow, so you'll have time to figure out if you need some help before Wednesday after school. So how many meters from the starting line did the runner end their workout? Olumipo says what now? 15 meters from the starting point?
Wait, no, not
How did you come up with that?
Not 15, not 15.
Okay.
11?
11 meters? Okay, did anyone get something other than 11 meters?
11?
Yeah.
11.
Any other answers? Jordan, what did you get? 30, okay. Anyone else? Getting a good wide range of answers here. How many meters from the starting line did the runner end their workout?
I got 7.
500, you said?
I got 7.
Oh, okay.
I got 7.
You think 11? You think 7? Okay. Who can walk me through why they think what they think? Because it's nice that we have answers, but how did you get to your answer, Theo?
I just
That's okay. Just talk us through how you figured out that number. Doesn't have to be right. This is why we're talking about it together.
0 meters. Started thinking how to explain it.
Okay, no worries. Do you want us to come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I heard some good ideas down here in the front. What do you guys think now?
You guys were talking?
Yeah, I heard them. What do you guys think? You guys sound correct. What did you guys come up with?
0.
0. Interesting. Did anyone get 0?
I got 0.
Oh, now you got 0. All right.
I've been
Yeah, right. Why is it 0? Noah or Angel, one of you want to explain?
Because, so it's asking.
Okay, hold on one sec. Guys, Noah's going to explain real quick here. What's going on? Go ahead, Noah.
Because it's asking how many meters from the starting line did he end
Okay.
his workout, and you can see that at the end of his workout, he went back to 0 meters from the starting line.
Oh, I see. So what I think a lot of you may have, some of you that got 11, you may have added the 4 meters here to the 7 meters here. Am I right or am I wrong? For those of you who got 11? I think you may have just added 4 and 7 and got 11, which, again, very normal thing to think, okay? Sorry about that. So yeah, it's a good idea to think that we add this number to this number. I probably would have done the same thing if I was in your shoes. But again, we're talking about from the starting line. So we can see right here that he started 3 meters from the starting line, right? That's what this line right here is, 3 meters from the starting line. At the end of his workout, that's this point right here, right? So all we have to do to figure out how many meters he is from the starting point when he ends his workout, we just have to look over on the graph to where that point lines up on the x-axis, which is, on the y-axis, which is 0, right? 0 meters. So he ends on the starting point, right? So what I want you guys to do right now is talk with your groups about number 5. I want to hear you guys talking about this question. Why does the graph slope downward after 15 seconds? What does this mean? What does it mean for the graph to be sloping downward? Go ahead and talk about it with your group, see what you can come up with.
Why do you have a sweetheart? A sweetheart. You know, like purple.
No, I don't have a sweet tart. Why would I have a sweet tart?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, you know, he has like a giant Smarties in his ears. He's emo. Like Aiden. Bro, Aiden's emo phase is not it. It's not it. You look worse with the hat. No, bro. I'd rather have his hat other than
Yeah.
Aiden. Emo be like, yeah, y'all like Emo. He be like,
Yeah, gang.
no, he be like,
And then he's sad in his pants now.
yeah, I'm Emo now.
No, he's sad in his pants now.
What?
What do you guys think? Anyone want to share?
Brazon, raise your hand.
What do you mean?
Brazon wants to share.
Brazon wants to share?
On your phone.
Doesn't sound like Brazon actually wants to share. Who actually wants to share?
He does.
The answer is he has the right answer.
Okay.
Oh, he has the right answer?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Do you want to share?
Share.
Ella, you want to go for it? Okay. All right, let's come back together. You guys have the opportunity to talk. Go ahead, Ella. What do you think's happening? Why is this graph sloping downward after 15 seconds?
It's slipping downwards because he's going back.
He's going back where?
To the store.
To the
To
store.
the starting line. To the
Yeah,
starting line.
exactly. He's running back to the starting line, right? Did anyone's group come up with something similar to that? Okay, good. Let's take a look at the graph. Here's what's happening in this graph. Let's take a look because it's a little confusing to understand. So let's talk through it real quick. This runner is starting their workout on the left side of this graph. Question back there? Okay, please stop talking back there. The runner is starting right here, 3 meters from the starting point, right? Or from the starting line. He sprints for 5 seconds and is able to cover 4 meters. Then he stops running for 10 seconds. That's this little section here. He stops running for 10 seconds to get a drink of water. And then he starts running again. But this time he's not running away from the starting line. He's running back down towards the starting line. Right? So it'd be like me running halfway to the door, turning around, and running right back to my desk. That's what's going on here with this graph. Give me a thumbs up if you see what I'm talking about with this graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, 14. Decent. Good.
No what?
All right. That's going to be it for that one. Let's get the second one.